I'm arguing against passion, first of all, because I think passion is very important and it holds a lot of weight. It holds a lot of stakes, right? People put so much pressure on their passion and they have to make money from it immediately because, they don't have the patience for it. And that basically describes how I have consciously and also unconsciously learned to view passion, which for me is cinematography. I have to be a filmmaker. I have to be a cinematographer, especially a good one that films all the best music videos, and one that will get all the feature films or get all the short films or the commercials, and eventually live off of my passion. Which it's a noble thought, but having that pressure on myself and having that pressure on my craft can be really counterintuitive. I felt myself do less and less because I feared not being able to do the best work. The idea to keep telling people to find their passion, to tell them to do what they love and they'll never work a day in their life is pretty unrealistic. And when people don't find their passion, or when somehow their passion starts becoming difficult, which in a way, realistically, if you think about it, is inevitable, they start to be demoralized. They start to be scared and question and doubt themselves. People without passion, they'll start to question whether something's wrong with them, right? Why they aren't finding something that they're passionate about. And people with passion start to question whether that thing was their love in the first place. The aspect of passion that but people don't really reveal, it's pretty much just like doing any other work. You'll have really bad, tiring days. You'll have days where you wake up and not want to do what you were so excited to do, like a couple of hours ago, a couple of days ago. You'll have days where you screw up, and because we put so much emphasis on the idea of like if we found our passion already and we're doing that, let's say filmmaking in my example, right? Whenever I get that hiccup, I feel like I beat myself over it. I mean, definitely a lot of moments is other people causing it, but I feel like most of the time I feel it's myself giving myself such a hard time. Every, little mistake, I feel like crap. I get mad at myself for making that mistake. I don't see the learning that's happening because I feel like, oh, this is your passion. You have to achieve something with your life, with this passion. And because of that, you have to make money. You have to find jobs related to your passion only, or else aren't you straying off your path? I think that's kind of the fault of us as kind of a new generation, putting so much emphasis on, oh, we have to find what we love to do, right? Gone are the days of parents forcing us to become doctors so that we actually go to school to become doctors, right? We want to do what we want to do. But the flip side is also that, we force ourselves to only do what we think we want to do, which I feel like, stepping back from that and seeing from a bigger perspective, you realize like you're a human being. You'll have days of feeling not motivated. You'll have days of being really stressed. Sometimes, a lot of times, you really just have to push through it. But also, a lot of times, you can also find enjoyment in other things without affecting how the trajectory of, building your passion into your business and into your livelihood. You start finding less enjoyment in the thing that you need to be doing. And then you end up losing a bit of that charm for your passion, right? Not losing the entire passion, of course, but you start to burn out. In the book Big Magic, the author Elizabeth Gilbert talks about passion versus curiosity. Another way to think is to look at life with curiosity and look at things curiously, because curiosity has less stakes. You can just be interested in something. You don't have to pull your heart out. You don't have to, in her words, shave your head and move to Nepal and become a monk. What differentiates passion and curiosity, right? Passion is big love, is a big commitment. While curiosity can just be, a little exploration, and then you go back home and sleep at night, right? Go back to your nice comfy bed, right? And I feel like in a way that can apply to how people who are feeling burnout can view their passion or can harbor their strengths in their passion. To get rid of a writer's block, you do something completely different, right? You change your brain, and then suddenly the ideas start flowing. I feel like that applies to just passion in general as well. You'll eventually get burned out. You'll eventually feel like, oh, I'm losing the magic in something that I once loved. And then trying something else that interests you will actually give more ideas and more beauty back into your passion, I feel like. And I look back on the films that I've made in the past, like in the past few years, and I realized it is kind of that, right? I was trimming hedges in the backyard because I thought the hedges were messy, and suddenly clicked for me that this is a very interesting little moment. So I made a short film about it just on my own, and I filmed it in 90-degree Fahrenheit weather. But I really, really enjoyed it because, even though like sometimes filmmaking can feel like a burden, your passion can feel like a burden, in that moment it didn't, because doing something else gave me more ideas and jump-started that passion again. It is good to keep working at your passion, but sometimes you have to work at it in a different way, right? And sometimes it might seem counterintuitive, but you have to stop doing what you're doing in order to find interest and love for what you're doing again. Hey, doesn't mean you won't eventually fall back in love with it, right? And I feel like I've done that many, many times, falling out of love and then fall back in love with filmmaking, with my passion. There's this quote from Big Magic that I really enjoy, which is that the question isn't what are you passionate about? The question is, what are you passionate enough about to deal with the shittiest circumstances of that passion?